Well, hello there, Aquarius. It is so good to see you. Happy birthday again. I hope you're having a great day. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we are doing your February 2023 tarot reading. So we'll take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot for more details. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to first take a look at your animal spirit card. Butterfly spirit transformation is beautiful. Oh my goodness. And it is also the number 11. Which I feel like is kind of interesting because you're in your birthday season, right? It's a time where, you are starting your solar year off again. And it's sometimes a time where we reflect about, what we have accomplished, what it is we'd like to get done. But I feel like there's also this sense of knowing that you have come very far on your path. And it's almost like a sense of starting a new cycle. A new year and a new cycle. Open up to your spiritual gifts. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. Yeah, I love that energy. It could be that maybe one of your birthday, goals for this next year has been to kind of like spend more time meditating or in nature or talking to your spirit guides or angels, journaling, practicing more spiritual habits, okay, that will help you to grow spiritually. A lot of times we set physical, health goals, but I feel like there's almost this sense of wanting to kind of open up to looking at how you can expand your spiritual practices, but also, your gifts that you have. Really lovely. Wow. Okay, so we're going to go to the tarot. We're going to take a look at your present energy, your obstacle or area of resistance, and then finally we're going to take a look at advice from spirit about how you can move through any obstacles more easily. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right, we have the sun on the bottom, but I feel like there is something here. Aquarius. I feel like you have a new path opening up for you. Okay, you have the Fool card there. You have a new path, but this sense of deception, okay, is heavy in your energy. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Deception card, okay, with the Sun. There's almost this energy where you have maybe gone through a trial of, almost like a dark night of the soul energy, kind of like a really kind of going deep with your emotions about, going back and looking at people that have betrayed you, haven't been by your side, have maybe kept secrets from you, all of that. And it could be that for a long time, you've kind of kept a happy face, right? You kind of had, this happy face, but underneath all of this, okay, energy has been playing out. And I feel like there's this sense of going within the cocoon to kind of like deal with your feelings. Either you've done that or you are about to do that. And in that moment, right, when, or, time period, we're in winter right now. So there is this true cocooning type of energy right now with the winter season in the Northern Hemisphere. But I feel like you may be withdrawing your energy. Remember, it's the number 11. You could be kind of like spending a lot of time by yourself, kind of like trying to figure out what are the spiritual lessons? Why did all of that occur? Why did I allow it, those people into my life? It's looking at those situations and knowing that they weren't done to you, they were done for you. And I think you're really taking this time to kind of like analyze it, because there's almost this sense, because Aquarius, you are about expansion, right? And if you think about it, the butterfly spreads their wings to fly. I think you want to fly. I think you're tired, okay, it's almost kind of like you've been carrying this energy around with you for some time, right? Your friends, your family may even say, oh, Aquarius is happy. Wow, they've had a lot that has happened, but they're still smiling. They're still smiling. But underneath, it's that they're saying the song, smile. Though your heart is breaking, smile. There's a song, smile. Though your heart is breaking. I don't sing. But it's kind of an older song. But I feel like that's kind of the mentality that you may have grown up with, or that you've just kind of like, your air sign is kind of like, okay, I'm moving on, but you've had a lot of trials and tribulations. And the thing is that you've been playing it safe. You haven't really kind of like put yourself out there, because in the past you have had, quite a bit of disappointing situations. So you've allowed yourself to play it safe, but now there's something new coming on your path. Something that you are going to have to, I feel like this is something that you want to do, and it could be an opportunity that comes on your path, perhaps a trip or a new relationship, a new job, but you're kind of like, I've never really put myself out there in order to say yes to something like this, or to put my name in the hat for that promotion or whatever it is, because I don't want to be disappointed again. I don't want to have these feelings in the back of my mind. And I honestly feel, Aquarius, like you may not even recognize this heaviness in your own energy, because I feel like for some of you, you may have been carrying it with you, and for some reason, I think for like 7 years. Okay, you've been just kind of carrying this heavy energy around with you. It is time to fly. It is time to step out of that cocoon and fly, and no longer play it safe. So you're stepping into this energy of, how do I disembark these energies? Okay, how do I detach them? Because I feel like you are ready to, you're ready to do that, because here we have your present energy. Yeah, you're the loving woman. This is you, the Empress, gender doesn't matter, but you're in this lovely energy, except you have this heartache, the Five of Swords in the background, kind of looking over your shoulder here, You see how she's kind of looking over her shoulder at this shadow. It's kind of like, all right, when am I going to be hurt again? It may be that you're concerned about a certain person or a situation returning, but I think for most of you, you're just kind of like, when am I going to be disappointed again? So let's take a look at this. Yeah, I feel like you're kind of really being a little bit, when you come into a sense of feeling like somebody may be about to hurt you again, okay? Like there could be a little bit of, oh my goodness, I feel like somebody may be like, you're intuitive and you're kind of feeling, oh, I think they're not telling me the whole truth, or I think they may be talking about me behind my back, or something like that, right? I feel like it takes a lot for you to stay in control of your own emotions. I feel like these emotions are being easily triggered at this time. So it could be that for this last 7 years, you've been there and you've been able to, keep these emotions at bay. And now all of a sudden, I feel like there is almost this energy where, Pluto is getting ready to, move into Aquarius, right? And it's kind of like this energy of, oh my goodness, it's kind of like, I can't keep these emotions at bay anymore. It could be, you could feel like you're being triggered, like almost all the time. And I think it's becoming harder and harder for you to keep your emotions, these emotions at bay, I almost feel like you're trying to keep yourself safe long term. Right? But it's almost like, can I hold these emotions in long term for the rest of my life? Wow, that's really kind of almost like a battle that you have within yourself. Yeah, a conflict. And then you have true love, right? There's a conflict within yourself. I think that, part of it, and I can kind of relate to this, Aquarius. I'm not an Aquarius, but I can kind of relate to this. I went through a time period where it just seemed like there were people and situations in my life that were just conflicting. It was just kind of like people backstabbing me, people, and I really remember just kind of thinking, okay, I can't have all of these. Think of these cards as a different situation where somebody has hurt you, right? And I remember saying to myself, oh my goodness, Mary Sue, you must be a terrible person, because how could you have all of these situations occurring in your life within a kind of a short period of time, maybe like a couple of years. And they were, to me, I was just like, oh my gosh, I was really trying in these situations. I was putting what I thought was my best into these situations. And then all of a sudden, something happened, and, people, it felt like people were turning on me, and I couldn't understand it. And then the only reason I'm bringing this up is because when I got through that and I recognized, okay, that I was the whole time, okay, I had really been playing it safe. I wasn't being my true authentic self, right? I really and truly wasn't. It was kind of like, I feel like almost this was part of my spiritual path, is to have these encounters and then to ask myself, okay, what is it about, why am I not being my true authentic self? I was really in conflict. It was mirroring, okay, this is the way it is. Those relationships were mirroring the conflict I had within myself because I was not being my true authentic self. I mean, when I look at it now, it was kind of like, well, sure, you're not going to attract in people that love you for who you are if you're already in conflict with yourself, right? If you are constantly changing, warping who you are in order to appease other people, right? And then it's kind of like you're not even yourself anymore. And that's what I recognized, was that spirit, the divine, had come in and helped me to eliminate some relationships, even though it was difficult. Eliminate relationships so that I could get back to my true authentic self. Because what I recognized was when I was with some of these people, I was a puppet for whatever they wanted me to be. So I don't know if that if it resonates with you or not, but it's that type of energy of recognizing that what you're doing is you're almost kind of like in conflict within yourself. And, what I recognized was I was trying to be the person, that my family, had kind of like, our family does. They kind of mold us, right? And I was still trying to live in that mold. And yet at the same time, I mean, I wasn't radically different. I'm not radically different than that person, but there are some major core differences between who I am now and before I awakened, right? And I feel like that's what's happening to you. I feel like you're kind of awakening. You're kind of like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? What is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you, except that it's time to go back within yourself and to recognize who you truly are, to do that deep dive, if you will, to transform into the person that you truly are instead of perhaps the person you have been conditioned to feel like you need to be. Wow. Really, yeah, Tower, three of Cups, seven of Cups. For some of you, I feel like there could be, there is a little bit of this energy where you could have grown up in a family where alcohol was prevalent, or you could partake in alcohol because, both of these are about celebrating, but it's kind of like this energy of recognizing that it's time to celebrate you and not to get confused in who you are. You could recognize, there's something here about the tower. The tower comes down, and it's almost this a moment where you may just like your world is rocked. Like there is a trigger, something triggers. Could be when, somebody that, has had too much to drink says something to you, and you're kind of like, whoa, like all of these emotions just like come right out. And you're almost like, oh my goodness, like where did that come from? Like, well, it came because you had been holding those emotions down for so long. Sometimes when alcohol is involved or some other type of, substance, the thing is that, our inhibitions are taken down, right? And people can say things in that moment, and I feel like you're being, I wouldn't be surprised if you have some moment where you have this big tower moment, kind of like, some situation where you are triggered. And in that moment, you kind of recognize, it's almost like, to me, they're showing it like the shell, your shell is just almost like, whoa, it comes right off. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like, I get it. I get it now. I'm not, I get who I am. It's almost like this immediate transformation when you allow those emotions, to show you who you truly are. I feel like there is something about looking at these emotions and then kind of recognizing, what those emotions kind of are helping you to recognize that is really true about you. Really kind of a deep reading here, because now the advice is to step onto your path. For some of you, you could be opening up to being psychic, clairdescent. You could have some kind of, some kind of spiritual gifts that are you're truly recognizing. You're kind of like coming into this energy, and you're willing to defend them. In other words, you're no longer going to shy away and play it safe. You're going to step into that energy of being who you truly are. No longer hiding. You could have had these gifts coming up since childhood, kind of like, for me. And it was kind of like, no, put that, put that away. And it's kind of like, in a way, I feel like it's kind of good, because then when I really was able to step into understanding my spiritual gifts, I was at an age where I could really also appreciate them, right, for what they are. So I feel like you may feel the same way too. Yeah. You're going to, oh my goodness, the star. Yes. You're look. And it's leading, if for some of you, you're concerned about love, if you step onto your spiritual path, right? There is love, there is love, right? And then there's also the sun, putting time and energy, feeling fulfilled in what you do, and with the Two of Pentacles, I feel like, there is this sense of being able to juggle the 3D and the 5D. Because I feel like that is one of the reasons people sometimes don't want to walk onto their spiritual path. There's people you may have to leave, right? There's, sometimes it's also kind of like this energy of, if I step onto this path, will I find love in the future, and will I have, financial stability? This is letting you know, yes, you will. You will be able to. All right, so let's pull a soul truth card for you. And Aquarius, I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Okay, so let's see. What can I do to make a difference? Interesting, because I think Taurus had this card too. But I think to me, this reading is somewhat similar to what they had too, because it is about stepping into your truth, stepping onto your path, understanding this is destined, Allow the conflict within you to kind of diminish and step into, defending who you are, to defend your spiritual path. All right, what keeps you up at night? What makes you cringe when you think about it, such that every ounce of you screams no more? Where can you create purpose out of your pain? Make a difference in someone's life today, big or small, because all of it makes a difference. Oh, really nice. All right, well, I am going to leave it there, Aquarius. I do really appreciate all of your support through liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.